Should I play this game? Do you have any plans on seeing any family?
I found it rather confusing as a new player.
Only real issues in the game are skill issues, and that anyone complaining simply needs to get good in order to fix the experience.
Hey everybody, Cohh here, and I have been getting asked a lot lately as I've been playing this game, what the heck is Path of Exile 2? So what this game is at heart is an ARPG, kind of like Diablo or games that you probably played over your Titan Quest, all sorts of things. The game is all about taking your character from point A to point B, and while doing that, not only slaying hordes of enemies, but also getting far better equipment, far better skills, leveling down, big pass, lots of customization, that kind of thing. Now, the important thing to mention while you're doing this is that you don't need to understand all the systems, and you don't need to know how they all work to have fun. And that's really important to mention, because this game is huge, but it's very important to know that you do not need to understand everything to have a good time. I have under 1,000 hours in Path of Exile 1, and I still know really a fraction of what's in that game. But I've always had a good time playing it because I was able to understand the main backbone, and that kind of carried me through the parts that I don't necessarily need to fully understand, but lets me have a good time while doing everything I do understand. It's very easy to look at this game and think it's way too complicated. People see the passive skill tree, people hear about the vast amount of customization, and they get a little intimidated. And they go, you know what? That's clearly not for me. It's too much. I don't have time for that. I want to do something else. But here's the thing. I'm here to tell you that there's a lot in this game, that it's really easy to pick up and put down, and that once you get a few basic things down, the experience can be very rewarding and, frankly, one of the deepest the ARPG genre has to offer, while being actually playable and fun to play. So, anyway, let's get started on what the heck this game is. Right when it starts, you have a pretty major decision now, if you want to click to move or use WASD. I strongly recommend WASD. It's a lot of fun, connects you to the character, feels really good, and it's pretty easy to use. You can also use a controller if you'd like, but then you also have to use a controller for the inventory and everything, and that can be a little finicky for some people. So I have found WASD to be awesome. As you play through this game, you will not only be left-clicking to attack, like in most games, but you also get a variety of gems and skills. Now, unlike Path of Exile 1, Path of Exile 2 gives you a lot more customization over this. It makes it so you don't necessarily have to go in with a full build guide, especially not for your first few characters. Now, as the game develops and as you want to do more advanced content, you will most likely end up needing a guide in some form or fashion. But for now, especially in the early access, you don't need one to have a great time. I have been playing this game for probably close to 50 plus hours at this point. Never used a guide and been having a great time. Just like in any ARPG, you're going to be getting a lot of different equipment. You can hold down Alt and compare that to things you have. Alt and Shift. You can not only see the rolls, but compare it to things you have. And as you kind of figure out what you want from your class, the equipment will matter more and more. Also, every weapon can be used by all other classes, so that gives a lot of versatility to what you may want your character to do. And since this is a hardcore character, which means that it drops out of the league if it dies, we will not want this character to die quite yet. What is the benefit of playing hardcore? Yeah, for me, it's just more fun. I really like the hardcore feel of the game because it adds like this level of tension that's just not there normally. And it just kind of makes the whole game a little bit more exciting for you personally. So the game has a variety of skills, which get slotted into your skills section here. Anytime you do have a skill, you can just drop it down to your hotbar here, or just click one of these and select what you want in that particular hotkey. It's then as simple as just right-clicking it and firing it off into the world. Skills have a variety of things and keywords associated with them, though, and this is where the game's complexity really starts to kind of shine. Thankfully for us, it's all done in nice, neat little categories. So you can see here, it says exactly what it is at the top under the name. Lightning arrow is an AoE projectile that's lightning and chaining. And that's very important later, because by knowing where to look and knowing what keywords to look for, you can very easily maneuver in different areas of the game to areas of passive trees and skill trees that will give you the most power for what you want to do. Another big thing about this game is going to be dodging. In this ARPG, there's an active dodge mechanic, and you will want to get very comfortable with it as it's a big part of gameplay. It does go really well with WASD, so all you have to do is just kind of hit spacebar wherever you're walking. The enemies, so far, especially the bosses, do a great job of telegraphing their attacks. They also have nice big ground circles and AoEs whenever you need to deal with that on the ground. So you know exactly what you need to avoid, which is really nice. The timing can be a little finicky, but of course, you know, that's part of the challenge, and the game is not easy. So one of the big things in Path of Exile 2 that you will get is skill points. Now, these skill points go into one of the most iconic features of Path of Exile, which is the passive tree. This gigantic tree is incredibly intimidating, but once you know how to maneuver it, is one of the cooler features of any game of this type. So without further ado, I present to you the passive skill tree. Yeah, it gets a little big. So the thing about this tree is that, like I said before, it becomes very intimidating very fast. However, there's lots of very cool tools in this to make it so you can maneuver it very easily. So wherever you start on your main classes here, all you have to do is kind of select, do you want to be more kind of offensive or defensive to start with? You put a point in, and then at this point, it just starts becoming what you want to do with your character. So you don't need to worry too early about what you're doing, and you can refund things later. But as you start deciding what weapon you want to use, what skills you want to use, you can start using the search bar and searching for keywords. So if you were going to be using things for bow, you can pop bow in here, which will then show you all the nodes in glowing green that are affected for your bow. So you can come down here and see this very far off area here has some really, really good things for bow. So you can start kind of working your way down there, of course, checking the other nodes, seeing what's important, seeing what kind of fits what you want to do. Now, I do need to warn you that a big part of this passive tree is understanding how the game works. And that's, again, it's okay to not know that, but just keep in mind that a part of this game is going to be learning what all this stuff means, learning what it means if something says, you know, that 15% of damage penetrates lightning resistances, and knowing that if you want to do anything with lightning, that's going to be a great node to get. Knowing what flasks effects and charges are. Things like this are presented in the game, and there are good help systems, but it is the kind of thing where as you are using items and as you're doing things in the game world, you'll find yourself kind of being like, I wonder how I can do more damage. And then you can start looking for damage nodes. Oh, I wonder how I can be more survivable. Oh, I wish I was evading more hits, things like that. So it quickly adds up, but thanks to the search function, and also later all the different resources and guides you can find online, it does make playing the game very, very bearable, even for new players, as you kind of figure out what you're going to do. And actually, I'm just realizing this was designed to be short, and it's quickly adding up to be very, very long. So I think actually let's kind of clip it there, and let's kind of see if they can work with that a little bit. This is for the other editors. Yeah, not so quick tip video. Hey, so we have like nothing for the end of this. Could you just like record something on stream and it'll get to us? And I was like, yes, I can. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. You can find many more videos like this all over the YouTube. Again, really thanks for your time, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.